welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Thursday night. Can you believe it's Thursday already? I don't know where the weeks go. I don't know where the month goes. It's September too. And tonight I'm here with a mystery challenge. So earlier today I shared a picture. So we're going to do a mystery card using a picture as the inspiration. So I'll talk a little bit about how I use pictures as inspirations for projects. I know some people find this particular way of finding inspiration hard. And I guess the thing I want to leave with you is picture. You don't have to be really literal with pictures. And so while I'm going to be a little bit literal tonight because I have an apple basket in my picture and I am going to use the Apple Harvest stamp set and the coordinating dies. You don't have to do it. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So anyway, thanks for joining me tonight and let's switch over and we'll get started. Hey Betty, welcome. Okay, so this was the picture I shared earlier. So this is a basket of apples with some apples and a tree. And I just thought it went to the Apple Harvest stamp set, which of course is in the mini catalog, but we have the new, gosh, I've got a mess going on here and I haven't even started, the new apple blossom dies that are part of the perfect partner bundle. And so these are available through the month of September, and there are dies that go with this stamp set as well as 5 others that are in the catalog. So I just kind of thought this was a great way to show off some apples and just show how you can use a picture to inspire. Hey Becky, welcome. So when I look at a picture, because you can be very literal. So I am going to use an apple, and I'm going to use some of the colors. So I'm going to use, this is one of the craft note cards. So typically I cut my own card base and I went to cut craft and I don't seem to have it. So I pulled out, these are the great note cards. They're a little smaller than our regular card base, but they're perfect. So they come with cards and envelopes, and there's actually a box to put them in if you make a set. So you could do a bunch of stamping and give this away. So that's kind of going to be my, the brown basket part of it. So while I'm not going to have a basket on my card, I am kind of taking inspiration from this. And I am going to have an apple, and I'm going to have some green on the leaves and red. So kind of that's my inspiration. But if I looked at this picture, I could also just use it for colors or layout. So, put something in the center, use red and green. It could be a great Christmas card. So sometimes you can use inspiration just, by looking at it from the colors, from the layout, or from the content. And I know everybody sees things differently when they look at pictures. Many of you know that I partner with Diane Evans. And so we have done some workshops where one of the challenges that we're presented with is a picture challenge. And it's always amazing to me how everybody interprets the picture differently. But if you see something that you like, whether it's, maybe a display in a store, nature scene, you can take pictures and then just use them as inspiration for your projects. All right, enough chattering. Let's get on. So as I said, I'm using a note card because I couldn't find my craft paper. So this is I can't remember what size this is, and I just measured it. So it is a little bit smaller. So this is 3.5 by 5, and a normal card is 4.25 by 5.5. So a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use this as my card base, and then of course the envelope. And I've got some basic white here. Let's see, I probably should have, let's cut a card base. So I said this was 3.5. So I'm going to cut this to be 3.25 by 4.75. Oops, it won't fit. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. 5, ½ an inch. So did I have this? I'm going to do it 3. This will be the inside of my card. Just so I have something to stamp on the inside, and then I actually think, yes, okay, that piece will do for the stamping of my apple. So I've got some memento, and so I'm going to stamp my apple. This is going to be a little bit of a clean and simple card, which is a little different for me. I often don't do clean and simple. If you follow me, you know that. All right, and so I've got this stamp that says, "Thanks for your kindness." So let's do some coloring. Now, I grabbed Real Red, Old Olive, and Petal Pink. Don't think I need Petal Pink. I was thinking I had part of the inside of the card. So we'll start coloring the apple. This is going to be kind of a red apple. I probably should have, I guess I'll do the stem green. So I know I've said this before, I always start and just kind of do an overall base coat of the lightest of these. And this stamp set is great because they actually give you even not just lines where there could be shading, but some shaded areas on the image itself. So we will use those when we start and go back and add the dark Real Red ink onto it. So I just kind of just give it an overall coat layer of the light. Okay, there we go. And then I can go back in. Now this is a big enough image that I'm using the brush end. If it was a really fine image, I would be using the fine tipped end. But as I get closer to the kind of small areas that, you know, I run out of space, I go a little slower, or I do sometimes switch over to that fine tip end. All right, like I said, I don't know if you can see this now that I've colored. Just around the edge, there is actual shading. So that's what I'm just kind of going over. And I'm going over a little bit more than you know, just that shaded area. And then just take your light, and I'm not going necessarily over the dark that I've just colored. I really am just trying to blend or add a layer, I guess, is really what I'm doing, but kind of blending so it's not such an obvious line where you had the dark. And you may not see it because it's really kind of hard to see until it starts to dry. Now, this is the light Old Olive, and because I'm on a really kind of little area here for the stem, I am going to use the fine tip end. It's not a very big image. So these perfect partner dies, like I said, there are 6. I think I've shown this one once before, and the piggies. Let's see what else. Oh, the Yeti. I know I've blogged with the Yeti. Yeti to party. Yeti to party. So they are available through the end of September. And they are, which is really cool, because these are standalone stamp sets in the catalogs, but they are available at the 10%. So you get 10% off on the bundle, which is a great deal. All right. And again, I'm just kind of going over this. Sometimes when it's this is quite a contrast with the light and dark of the Old Olives. So you might see it a little bit more where I've put the dark kind of on the veins of the leaf. Okay. I am now got my dies. So this is that apple. And somewhere I have a piece of Post-it note tape. And I don't believe the label's big enough. So I'm going to cut this label. I'm just going to cut my label. So let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Just use the little one because I've got a little piece of paper. Let's get this. So don't forget, if you're not part of my Facebook group, don't forget to join. The link is under the video, and share your projects, because every month I send out some happy mail to a few people who've shared their projects over the course of the month, and I'd love to send you something. If I draw, I just do a random draw from everybody who's shared projects. So just click to join either join my group if you want to share, but you can also join my page. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a subscriber. Okay, so there's my apple. So like I said, this is going to be a pretty simple card. I am going to use this stamps here that gives the grid line. I'm going to stamp using crumb cake. So you're going to just barely see this. And I'm kind of randomly, oh, actually, you're going to see it more than I thought you were. I guess that's the right word. I'm just really stamping, and this is just as a background. There. Maybe a little bit more. There. So this is just where the apple is going to go. Thanks, Becky. I love to color. And you may have noticed I do a lot of coloring. And so I find it quite relaxing. All right, so I've got some, I don't know that I've got enough on that piece of, I've got some linen thread. So I'm going to just take and wrap the linen thread around a couple of times around my entire card base. I'll leave a fair amount over on this one side because I want to tie a bow. All right. So I've got it wrapped around twice. And let's just get it so it's tight. Like that. And then we can tie a bow over on this side. Now, I always turn my card upside down. So this is the opening, because I find I can control where the tail of my bow goes. And the other thing I've grabbed is these are the tweezers that go with the embossing kit. So either use a glue dot, or if you've got the embossing kit, just hold this tight like that. Grab your tweezers. Actually, hold it tight. It's slipped on me. Hold it tight. Grab your tweezers and just grab onto that, and then you can tie. And then because I have it upside down, I always keep the tails facing towards the bottom. I just find I can control where my tails are if I tie my bow upside down. And then I can turn it right side up and just fuss with how big my bow is. And now I have both of the tails facing in the right direction. Nothing bothers me more is when I make a card and the tails are facing in, one's up and one's down. Drives me crazy. I'm not sure why, but it does. All right, so I have some dimensionals here. So let's use some dimensionals. I said this is going to be a pretty clean and simple card, which is, I'm always inspired by people who can create clean and simple cards, because that's not me typically. So I'm always excited when I actually create one. And then I'm just going to take and with my paper snips and cut, hopefully straight. I'm not going to worry if it's not completely straight. That's the beauty of just kind of rough cutting your sentiment. And I'm just going to take and put this on with some dimensionals. And we'll just take and put that on like that. Now, somewhere, I used these the other night, so I still have them out. So these are the red rhinestones. I think they're just, no, yeah, red rhinestones. So let's just put some rhinestones on here. Just some rhinestones because you need some bling on your card. And then I have my inside. So let's take this in crumb cake and let's just do just a couple of these. So that'll be for the inside. And while we're at it, let's take and do some stamping on the back of the flap of the envelope. So again, I'm just going to take and just stamp. Just some decoration. That grid is really cute for that. Oh, hello, welcome. This is my quick, well, somewhat quick and clean and simple card tonight, featuring the Apple Harvest stamp set and the new coordinating apple blossom dies. So there we go. That one's just on the inside. I really love craft paper, and I haven't had it for a while, and now it's back. I guess it's been back for a little bit. So there we go. All right, so there. Let's do this too. Can you imagine making a box of cards using this apple blossom stamp set and putting it in the box that comes with these craft cards and envelopes? Now, I am going to take, this is some Wink of Stella, and I just think that my apple could use some shininess, some glitteriness to it. So I'm just going to take just on the red and put some. Now, you probably can't see this. And I'm going to squeeze this to get some more out. When you're squeezing it to refill your Wink of Stella and get it to more come out, make sure you do it away from your card, because you will get a bunch coming out. And the last thing you want is for it to all kind of pool on your image. So you can always pick it up off of your, kind of like a paintbrush. There we go. I always do this last. So if you've noticed, Wink of Stella takes a little longer to dry. So there you go. I think you can kind of just see the shimmer to it. Oh, thank you. I just had my nails done today. I asked for fall, but they actually look quite tropical to me with the colors. But my goal was fall cards or fall nails, and they kind of came out fall-like, but they're quite bright. So, all right. So there's my card. And as I said, it uses the new Apple Harvest and the Apple Blossom dies that are available through the end of September. And there is my inspiration. So you can see, not so much looking like it, but I took some of this picture as inspiration with the apple, and then, the color of the basket. So just a way to be inspired by pictures. Sometimes we struggle with deciding what our cards are going to be like, our projects. And so using a color challenge, using a picture challenge, using a tic-tac-toe challenge. I love tic-tac-toe. Thank you, Becky. And the other thing that I will do is, if you've ever lost your mojo and you're not sure what to do, grab the catalogs. They are amazing source of inspiration. The concept artists at Stampin' Up! Are amazing. And so if you ever need inspiration, don't even necessarily worry about whether it's the same stamp set, but just flip through and find a layout that you really like. Lots of ways to be inspired. So don't shy away from picture challenges, and I hope you'll share your cards on my group. So if you're not part of the group, just click to join underneath this video. So I thank you for joining me tonight. I will be live again on Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, and then again on Sunday. So I hope you join me. Sunday is at 12 noon. So I hope you'll join me then. Thanks, everybody. Happy stamping. Bye.